Alright, so Neverness to Everness version 1.3 is almost here, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those updates where it feels like the developers looked at the checklist and said, yes. New story chapter? Yep. New characters? 2 of them. A giant new district? Also yes. Beach volleyball, jet ski racing, swimsuits, a new house, farming, and an amusement park teaser for the next version? Yeah, there's a lot going on. Version 1.3 is called Rising from the Moonlit Fog, and it goes live on August 19th. This update is doing 2 things at once. It is closing out a major story arc involving the Scarlet Letter, while also turning Heathero into a full-on summer destination. So today, I wanted to go through some of the main things you needed to know, especially Zankou and Linko, the Fogged End game story, Duskmoor, Starfall, and the new summer content, and why Pukaland might already be worth getting excited about. And yes, I also want to talk about why Zankou might be one of the more interesting characters the game has added so far. Let's start with her, Zankou, not your usual villain. Zankou is the big headline character for version 1.3, and she arrives during the first banner phase from August 19th through September 9th. She is an S-Class incantation-type gas esper tied directly to the Scarlet Letter faction. But the thing that separates Zankou from a lot of the other gacha game antagonists is that she does not appear to be built out of the classic redemption story. You know the one. The character does terrible things, then halfway through the story we learn that they were secretly innocent, misunderstood, controlled by someone else, or just waiting for the power of friendship to fix everything. Zankou is different. Her trauma explains her. It gives you context for why she became the way she is, but it does not erase her choices, and the story does not seem interested in pretending those choices were harmless. She is manipulative, she's cruel when she needs to be, she understands fear, despair, and emotional weakness better than most people around her, and she uses that understanding against people. That makes her feel dangerous in a way that goes beyond the usual she has cool attacks kind of villain. The core of Zankou's story is that she wants to be seen, not necessarily loved in the simple sense, not just protected, praised, or accepted. She wants to be recognized as someone real, someone with meaning, identity, and value. She wants that recognition from Daffodil. The problem is, she never gets that exact kind of validation that she's searching for. Daffodil may feel guilt, responsibility, regret, maybe even care in some way, but none of that gives Zankou the definition she believes she needs. So instead of finding that identity for herself in a healthy way, she decides to define herself as tainted, and that is what makes her feel tragic without making her soft. She's not a victim waiting for a rescue scene, she's someone that has made peace with becoming the threat. Also visually, Zankou just looks fantastic. She has that elegant, composed energy where she barely needs to raise her voice to feel intimidating. Her design is stylish but also fits the character. Everything about her feels controlled and deliberate. Then you get her ability, the Eye of Delusion. She can sense emotions, tamper with people's thoughts, and create illusions that even create entire illusory spaces. She can use other people's faces to deceive her enemies. That is such a good power set for a character like this because it means she does not just beat you physically, she makes you doubt the entire situation around you. She's the kind of villain who could have you fighting the wrong person in the wrong place for the wrong reason, and you would not realize it until it's already too late. Gameplay-wise, Zankou is a main DPS who wants to spend a lot of time on the field. Her gameplay revolves around building and maintaining her buffs through Scorch and Hexed reactions, entering her illusion state, then cashing out that setup with her skills and ultimate. Her overall loop looks like it rewards good timing more than just randomly pressing buttons. The basic idea is pretty simple though. You use redirect skill to enter illusion. You keep attacking until redirect becomes available again. You use it a second time, and when the ultimate is ready, you use both casts while your team buffs are active. That's the important part. Both ultimate casts. So Zankou looks like the kind of character where you want to set the table with your teammates first. Apply your buffs, trigger your reactions, then bring her in and let her take over the screen for a while. And honestly, that makes sense for her character. She does not feel like someone who should pop in, fire off one ability, and leave. Her entire presentation is built around controlling the fight. As for teams, she has few directions already. Sakiri looks useful because she can boost DOT damage and attack. Daffodil and Lacrimosa can help set up Scorch reactions. Iroi can bring survival utility and Hexed access, although that option looks more technical because it relies on cleaner combo execution. Fadia sounds like the more straightforward comfort pick if you want support and survivability ability without working quite as hard. Adler can also function as a more budget-friendly defensive option, though his shield is not as strong as some players may want for an on-field damage dealer. There's even a break-focused route for Zankou, especially if you invest heavily into her Awakened level 5. At that point, her break damage gets a huge boost, so there may be room for players who want to build around her repeatedly forcing enemies into the broken state. But there is another thing worth mentioning. Zankou benefits from hexed reactions, yet she does not seem to have the perfect partner for that playstyle right away, and that brings us into Linkou. Linkou is the second new S-Class character in version 1.3. She's an anima-type plasma Esper build around synchronizing team attacks, and her banner runs from September 9th through September 30th. So the timing here is interesting. Zankou arrives first, Linkou arrives after, and from what we know, Linkou could end up being a really good future partner for Zankou. That does not necessarily mean everyone should pull both characters immediately. Resources are resources, but if Zankou is the character you're most interested in, I would at least wait until we see how Linkou performs before spending every single thing you have, because there is a chance this patch is setting up a character pairing, not just two random banners. Zankou looks like the dramatic on-field carry with the scary mind games and sustained damage. Linkou looks more like someone who can help a team coordinate and amplify its output. If that synergy ends up working the way players hope, they could be a very strong duo. Now, let's get into the actual story content, because version 1.3 is not just a summer event patch. The new main story episode is called the Fogden Game, and it brings the Scarlet Letter arc closer to its conclusion. The update follows the events of Corridor of Echoes and takes the story into the anomalous realm of Fogden. The Bureau has found a Scarlet Letter stronghold, so ETD Squad 6 goes in. Hattori, Adler, and Zero move in behind them, and the group eventually crosses into Fogden. And Fogden is not exactly a normal location. It's an ever-shifting space created to simulate a scenario devised by the Scarlet Letter. So naturally, the group does not just walk in, find the enemy base, and walk out. Instead, Madam T has turned the whole place into a survival game. There's rules, there's players, everyone is supposed to fight for victory, but underneath that supposedly fair structure, there is clearly another layer to the whole situation, and that is probably where things get messy. Fogden, being an illusion-heavy shifting environment, is also a perfect setting for Zankou. It reinforces themes around her character: identity, deception, perception, people seeing what they want to see, and characters being forced to question whether they really understand each other. If you've been following the Scarlet Letter story, this is one of the biggest reasons to log in for version 1.3. The summer content is fun, but this is the patch where the story looks like it's ready to make some major moves. Outside the story instance, we're also getting a major new district, and according to the update details, Duskmoor is huge. A full lap around its highway loop takes more than 10 minutes. That is not a quick lap around the city block, that's a proper drive. Duskmoor has a forest-focused atmosphere, long driving routes, racing challenges, and even a launch ramp for aerial stunts. So if you're someone who spends more time driving through the world than actually doing your daily tasks, this update is about to give you an excuse to do exactly that. I feel like this is where NTE can really separate itself. A lot of the games add a map extension and say, here's more places to teleport to. But NTE has always pushed the feeling of movement, driving, city exploration, getting from one place to another in style. Duskmoor sounds like it's being designed around that strength. Then there's Starfall, which appears to be the big summer destination. Coastal scenery, sunny weather, beaches, and that vacation resort atmosphere. Basically, we're going from supernatural urban drama to let's go to the beach in the same patch. The summer events are where version 1.3 start having a little more fun with itself. We have Volleystar, which is the beach volleyball event. We also have Surfbreaker, Shipwreck Salvage, and a set of other time-limited activities rolling out across the update period. Now, beach volleyball in a game like this can go one of two ways. It could be a simple little side activity that you play once for rewards and forget about. Or it could be hilariously chaotic because the characters are treating a beach volleyball match like a life or death boss fight. And based on what we have seen, I'm hoping for the second option. The appeal is obvious. Summer outfits, big character animations, powerful spikes, ridiculous saves, and probably at least a few moments where a match turns into total nonsense. But the thing I'm personally most interested in is the jet ski content. Version 1.3 introduces NTE's first water vehicle, the Tide, and players can use it during the jet ski racing event. This feels like such a natural addition. NTE already has a strong emphasis on vehicles and stylish traversal. You're already used to moving moving through Heathrow in ways that are meant to feel cool, so taking that same energy to the water makes a lot of sense. And jet ski racing is one of those activities that sounds simple, but it has real potential if the tracks are fun. Give players tight turns, shortcuts, ramps, obstacles, a little bit of chaos, and suddenly you have an event people actually come back to. Plus, the visual of the appraiser and the cast racing across the water in summer outfits is exactly the kind of thing people are going to clip and post everywhere. Speaking of summer outfits, Zankou's summer costumes become available on August 26th. The appraiser, both male and female, along with Mint and Nanoli, receive summer cosmetics through a mystery box set. Chaos is also part of the swimsuit lineup. There are additional new looks for Zankou and Linko as well, so if you collect cosmetics, this is not going to be a cheap update for you. The overall message is pretty clear. Heathrow is hot, the cast is going to the beach, and the developers are making sure the fashion side of the update gets plenty of attention. But then, out of nowhere, we also get Still Meadow House. This is a new property that players can buy with funds, and it includes a crop growing system. You spend city stamina, grow produce, and sell it for in-game returns. So between unraveling supernatural conspiracies, beating up enemies inside of an anomalous survival game, playing volleyball, racing jet skis, we're also apparently managing a small garden. And honestly, I like that. It adds a calmer side activity to the update that otherwise sounds very hectic. Sometimes you just need a break from the chaos. Go home, grow something, collect your rewards, and pretend Madam T is not trying to trap everyone inside a nightmare game. Finally, we have the version 1.4 teaser, Pukaland. Pukaland is an amusement park and it's supposed to bring new game modes along with a new batch of anomaly commissions. We do not know all the details yet, but the idea alone is exciting. A big amusement park zone in this kind of supernatural urban world has so much potential. You can have rides, mini-games, themed events, hidden anomalies, weird NPC stories, possibly creepy after-hours areas. The possibilities are pretty wide open. It has that polished, colorful, major theme park feeling. I would avoid comparing it to real-life theme parks because it's obviously its own thing, but you can absolutely see why people are making that connection. The real question is whether Pukaland is just going to be a pretty backdrop or if it becomes a long-term activity hub for players. If it has repeatable events, meaningful rewards, and enough things to do beyond taking screenshots, it could end up being a major part of version 1.4. So overall, version 1.3 is packed. Zankou and Linko are joining the roster. The Scarlet Letter story is pushing toward its conclusion with the Fogden game. Duskmoor is giving us a huge new place to drive around. Starfall is bringing the summer resort energy, and we have volleyball, jet skis, and swimsuits, a new house, crop growing, and an amusement park waiting in the next version. For me, Zankou is still the big standout. She has a strong design, a darker story than I expected, a combat style that looks satisfying for on-field DPS players, and the potential for her teams to grow stronger once Linko arrives. But I want to know what you're looking forward to most. Are you pulling for Zankou? Are you saving for Linko? Are you more interested in the Fogden story, Duskmoor's driving content, or the summer events? Or are you here to race jet skis and play beach volleyball? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you want more NTE coverage, and I'll see you in Heathrow.